Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to make these hats. These are technically the same, only this with the cat ears is a square on the top, and this one, the last 3 rows are decreasing to make the round top. Okay, so these are actually matching to the cardigans that I have made, like this. I will leave a link to the cardigan if you would like to make one. So these are the strawberry ones. The strawberries are added after you finish doing the hat, which is super easy. It is technically a 2-row repeat all the way up. This is a slightly bigger one. This is 9 to 12 months. This is 0 to 3 months. Again, strawberries, you just place them where you want. You don't even have to do the strawberries. Super cute. This is just the color changing, a little ombre, dark purple to white. Super cute. And this is just from the leftovers that I had. Again, very cute and colorful. And like I said, this hat is technically the same thing up to this place. Okay, with the cat ears we start increasing a little bit. We just add chains in between the stitches, where this hat stays exactly the same as the first few rows all the way up until the last 3 where we do the decrease. Now I will be showing you both hats. Keep an eye on that. I do have one more. I added some ears. These are, again, I have a cardigan for these ones, so matching colors. If you got interested into making one of these, let's go and see what we're going to need to make this little hat. Okay, so we are going to need scissors, a measuring tape in centimeters. Now if you're more used to inches, you can either convert the measurements that I have into inches, or you can go onto Google or Pinterest and find your own measurements for the hat. Now these are the ones that I use. You can take a little picture so you can see newborn, 0 to 3 months, then 1 to 2 years, 2 to 5, 5 to 10, small adult, medium adult, and large adult. So I have not made the bigger ones. I made it up to 10 years and it all works out absolutely fine. It is really simple to make. As I said, have a look. These are all in centimeters. Okay, that is why I'm using my measuring tape in centimeters. I will show that again. Then you're going to need a needle to hide the tails. Perhaps a little bow or something to make it cuter, and some stitch markers. Actually quite a lot if you're going to do the strawberries, or however many strawberries you are going to make. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna make a few, so you need to mark those places. Then we need 2 hooks, one bigger one and one smaller, depending on what yarn you're using. So I will be using just this DK weight yarn, or lightweight number 3 yarn. It really doesn't matter because we're using measurements. It will fall into place. Okay, so just make sure that you have a hook that fits the yarn and a smaller one. Okay, so I have a 4mm hook that fits the size or the weight of my yarn, and then a smaller one to go with it. Okay, and then if you're doing the strawberries, you're gonna need a little bit of green and a little bit of red. Now how much yarn you'll need in total? So for the baby sizes, which I made the most, you will only need about 30 to 40 grams. Okay, so but then the bigger they get, the more yarn you will need, as in the main color. Now if you want to make it in the stripes, or let's say 3 colors, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna look up at the top to bottom of the hat. Let's take the 6 to 9 months, 16 centimeters, and you are gonna divide it into 3. So that would end up at about 5.5 centimeters, 5.5, and 5. Okay, so something like that. It's very hard to be very accurate, but I will just go by this. So as many colors you are making, you're just going to divide the top to bottom into those 4, 5, or whatever, as many colors as you want. Okay, so these are the sizes. I will be making 9 to 12 months this time. Again, this is going to match one of the cardigans that I make with the strawberries. Okay, so gather everything and let's get started. Okay, so grab your normal hook for your yarn, a measuring tape, and let's see. Okay, so we shall start with the head circumference. So 9 to 12 months. approximately 43 to 45 centimeters. Now we will be starting making loops, which is the easiest way to start a project. Okay, make a slip knot and put it on your hook. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and make a double crochet into the bottom of the 3 chains, into the bottom chain, like this, a double crochet. Then again chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, double crochet into the 3rd chain or the bottom chain from the hook. And again chain 3 and double crochet into the bottom chain. And just like that, keep going until the loops will measure the head circumference that you are making for. Okay, so I made 19 loops. It doesn't mean that you will have 19 as well. The main point is that when you measure it with a little bit of stretch, it does stretch out to the measurement that you need. So I need about 45 centimeters, and as you can see, unstretched it is approximately 40, but I can easily stretch it out to 45, even 46 centimeters. Absolutely perfect. If you're not sure if that's enough, you can always add another loop. Really doesn't matter how many loops you have. Now again, this is the beginning for both hats, for the rounded top and the cat ears. It is exactly the same. Now the next part is we're going to change the hook size to a smaller. We will do the bottom first. Okay, so make sure that your loops are not twisted. Find the end of it and connect with a slip stitch into the very first chain that you have right here. Now we're going to chain 2. This is going to count as a double crochet, and then we will make 2 double crochets into the middle of each loop. And then we will make 1 double crochet in between the loops. So right here. 2 into the middle of the loop. So in between the chain 3 and the double crochet. And 1 in between the loops, like this. Again, 2 into the loop and 1 in between the loops. Just like that, keep going all the way around. Okay, so I'm finishing up. I have 1 loop left. Make 2 double crochets there, and we will join under the chain 2. I'm just gonna go under and slip stitch. We chain 2 to start the next row, and we turn, and now we're going to make front post double crochets and half double crochets. Okay, so around the next stitch you make a front post double crochet, and into the next stitch, make sure you don't use the stitch from the front post double crochet there, into the next stitch. So right here you make a half double crochet, and then a front post double crochet around the next one, and half double crochet into the stitch. Front post double crochet and half double crochet into the stitch. Okay, front post double crochet and half double crochet into the stitch, and just like that, keep going all the way around. Okay, so I have 2 stitches left. I do a front post double crochet and a half double crochet into my last one. So I ran out of stitches. What we want to do into the very last stitch, you want to be a front post double crochet. Now I ran out of stitches, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the chain 2 from previous row to do a front post double crochet. You might end up perfectly with a front post double crochet as your last stitch before the chain 2, or like me, where you run out of stitches with a half double crochet. So I'm just gonna go around this right here, and I'll just make a front post double crochet. You will not be able to see any of this once we are done. Okay, then you're gonna find the chain 2, go under it, and slip stitch. We're going to chain 2 to start the next row, so one more row of post stitches. We're gonna turn, and this time we're going to make a back post double crochet around the post stitch and a half double crochet into the stitch. So yarn over, back post double crochet around the post stitch from the last row, and half double crochet into the stitch. Now if you're not sure which stitch to do the half double crochet in, have a look. So this is the stitch, and the actual stitch, okay, so the half double crochet, the actual stitch is a little bit to the left of it. Okay, just half double crochet, then a back post double crochet, and again this is the half double crochet from previous row, and the stitch is just there a little to the left of it. Half double crochet, back post, and half, and just like that keep going all the way around. I'll see you at the end of this row. And you should finish with a back post double crochet, find the chain 2, under, slip stitch, and chain 1. Now you can add more rows with the front post double crochets and half double crochets if you want it to be a little bit longer. I'm gonna leave it at that, and then after I make the full hat, just in case it turns out a little bit short, I will be able to add another row at the bottom. Okay, so after you chain 1, you're gonna cut off your yarn, leave a little tail, and pull out like this. Now we're going to start working upwards. Again, for the rounded up hat and for the cat ear hat, the first 2 rows are exactly the same. So remember how the rows start and finish. Okay, make a slip knot, take your normal hook, and start in any of the loop that you want. I'm just gonna stick closer to that joining place. Go into the loop, catch your yarn, pull it out, and chain 2, 1 and 2. So this is repeat row number 1 and the way the row starts. Okay, so you chain 2 and make 1 double crochet into that same loop. Okay, we're not gonna chain anything for now. Then go straight into the next loop and make 3 double crochets. Into the next loop, 3 double crochets. And just like that, make 3 double crochets into every loop until you get to that loop where we have started the row. And you finish repeat row number 1 with adding 1 more double crochet into that very first loop where we have started. So just there, double crochet, and we are going to slip stitch in or under that chain 2 right here. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go in and slip stitch, and now you can see it looks like we have 3 double crochets in every loop. Okay, so to start repeat row number 2, you are going just to chain 2 and you're gonna turn, and each space in between the 3 double crochets, so here's the next one, gets 3 double crochets. So just in between the shells from the previous row, make 3 double crochets. And you just keep going all the way around. just like that. Okay, I have my last space right here. 3 double crochets. We're gonna slip stitch into or under that chain 2, doesn't really matter. I prefer to go under and slip stitch. So from the next row, there will be a little different from both of the hats, okay? So in the square hat, we're gonna start adding chain 1 spaces in between the 3 double crochets. So our hat gets a little bit wider at the top, so we can do the little ears without losing any of the circumference, okay? Now for this hat, you keep making these 2 rows, the repeat row number 1 and 2, which the real difference is just the way you start the rows, okay? All the way up until you're about this much, which would be about 2.5–3 centimeters before you finish the hat, okay? So you take away about 2.5–3 centimeters from the whole top to bottom, okay? So let's say if I would be making a size 9 to 12 months, which is 16.5 centimeters, I would go to until it's about 14 centimeters, like this, the same way, and then the last 3 will be the decrease for the rounding up the top. Okay, so again, like I said, oh, by the way, if you want to change colors, it's super easy. All you do is you chain 1, cut off your yarn and pull it out, and then you start the next row in the same place where you have finished with a new color, and that's all there is, okay? So you can see right here, okay? So I chained 2 in the new color, and then I started the double crochet right next to it, and I just went off all the way around. Super easy. Okay, so repeat row number 1 again. So you're going to chain 2 and turn. Okay, you start with 1 double crochet right next to it. You can either put it in the stitch or in the space in between, doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go in between, and now every time we make the 3 double crochets for the square hat, we're going to add a chain 1. So chain 2, double crochet, and chain 1, because this is going to be a full 3 double crochets here, a full shell. So chain 2, double crochet, chain 1, and then into the next space in between the 3 double crochets and 3 double crochets, we make 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and chain 1. Into the next space, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, 1, 2, and 3, and chain 1, and just like that all the way around. Okay, so repeat row number 1, I made my last 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1 after that and finish with 1 double crochet right at the chain 2. You can either put it in the stitch or right next to it, doesn't really matter. So double crochet and join in or under the chain 2, whatever is easier, like this. We're going to chain 2 for repeat row number 2 and turn, and now every chain 1 space gets 3 double crochets and a chain 1. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and keep going until you finish the row. The end of repeat row number 2, after the last 3 double crochets, you do not chain 1, you just go under the chain 2 and slip stitch, because technically that chain 2 is a chain 1 space. We just swapped it for a for 2 chains. Okay, and then again you chain 2 double crochet, chain 1, and start repeat row number 1. Okay, so you will keep making these 2 rows all the way up to the top until it measures the measurement that you need. Okay, so top to bottom for the size that I'm making is 16.5 centimeters. So I'm about 8, so I need another 8.5 approximately until it is here. You just keep making these 2 rows, and I will see you when we're at the top finishing the full length of the hat. And as you can see, it's already getting wider at the side just because we added that chain 1 space in between. Okay, so keep going. I'll see you when we have the hat finished at the top. Okay, so at this point I have my length done, so I'm just gonna lay it down flat, and if I measure top to bottom, it's about 16.5, maybe even 17 centimeters if I give it a little pull. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to join the top. It's super easy. Okay, you just chain 1 where you have finished, and now we're just going to take 1 stitch from one side and 1 stitch from the other side and make a single crochet. Okay, my chain is a little loose. You just have to make sure that you match it to the other side, okay, just so it's nice and straight. And single crochet into the next, and then the chain 1 spaces, and then again keep going with the stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and both chain 1 spaces, just like that. Keep going to the end. Okay, so finish my last single crochet. I'm just going to chain 1 and cut my yarn. Next step is we will hide the tails. So anything that you have, just quickly give them a little sew in between the stitches. So this is the bottom one. I'm going to give it a pull and just in between the stitches like this. Really quick, just like that. Finish hiding all the tails and we will start on the little ears. Next up, we are going to mark where our ears are going to be. Now, depending on the size of the hat, okay, the bigger it is, you probably want the bigger ears. Now, for the baby ones, I'm gonna count from the top. So this is right here. This is a full 3 double crochets, 2, 3 full 3 double crochets, and then I just want to go into the middle, approximately into the middle of the third one, okay? Now you might do exactly the same on the other side if you have full shells, okay? Now as you can see here, I only have a half to start and then 1 and 2, okay? Just because I had an odd number of loops down here. Now that is not a problem. I'm just going to mark behind that second full of the 3 double crochets and I have a half. So this is 1, 2 and a half and 1, 2 and a half. Now you want to see the line going from that stitch marker all the way down where you're going to sew it up. Okay, so this right here and this right here. Okay, so this is where I want the bottom of the ears to be. Okay, so about here. Okay, just make sure that these are pretty much exactly the same. You can count the stitches or measure it out, whatever you can do with it. Now I'm gonna grab a tail like this, needle, and I'm just gonna start from the bottom right here, and I'm just gonna bring the needle in between stitches like this onto where the stitch marker is, like that. Make sure you don't catch the other side of the hat, like that. Let's give it a little pull. Like this. Now I'm gonna go under the stitch marker into the other side of the hat, and the exact same way I'm just gonna go towards the stitch marker in between stitches, so, about like this. Okay, and now we want to finish on the inside of the hat, so I'm gonna go in and leave the thread inside, pull the other one to the inside as well. Now you can give it a little pull on both threads, okay, to see like this. So you have a little ear, you can pull more or less depending on what you prefer. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm just gonna start right here. I'm just gonna try to go in through the stitches like this toward the stitch marker, like this, and then under the stitch marker to the other side, and then I'm coming down just go this way and like this, and into the inside of the hat. Okay. Now I'm gonna give it a pull on both sides just to see that my little ears are pretty much the same size. I am happy with these, they look pretty much the same, so I will just make a little knot, a normal knot on the inside of the hat. And I'll just hide the little tails in between the stitches. So do the same with the other one, and then we can get started on the strawberries. Okay, so the ears are done. Next up, we are going to mark out where we want the strawberries to be. This is just random. You can try to find some kind of a pattern for it. I just really do it randomly. Okay, so this is going to be the front. I choose this as a front. I am going to have a little bow at the bottom right here, so I'm going to stay away with strawberries from that part. I'm probably going to put a strawberry in the ear, then one maybe right here. Okay, so the thing is, so you want to mark the middle of the 3 stitches, and the strawberry is going to be actually above it. Okay, so I'll put a strawberry here and maybe one more up here. I think that should be enough. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'll mark out the back. Maybe again here. Here. Maybe one somewhere in the middle, and one more down here maybe. Okay, so this is completely random. You can put in as many or as little as you want. I'm gonna have 5 in the back and 4 in the front. So grab your red yarn and some green one, and we will do the strawberries now. Okay, so to start the strawberry, leave a little tail. We will have to hide them all. Make a slip knot and find one of your stitch markers. I'm just gonna do this one. Okay, so right here. So you can see 1, 2, 3 stitches right into the middle stitch. We join. We are going to chain 2, 1 and 2. That counts as a stitch. Let's count that as 1 double crochet, and then we put 4 more double crochets in there, so we have 5 stitches in total. 1, 2, 3 and 4 double crochets plus the chain 2. Okay, I'm going to chain 1 and cut off my yarn. Leave a little longer tail. Again, we're gonna have to hide it later on. Now get your green, and we're gonna crochet half double crochets together. Again, leave a little longer tail. Now I'm gonna crochet over the red tail, so I'm just gonna drop it on top. Now you see the chain 2, 1 and 2. Put your hook in the top of the chain 2. Grab your yarn, pull it out, and chain 2, 1 and 2. Like I said, I'm crocheting over the red tail. Now if you look, you have 1, 2, 3 and 4 stitches. Now this one is very, very close. Okay, it's right there behind the chain 2. So the first one, yarn over, go into that very first stitch that is right next to the chain 2, catch your yarn, pull it out and stop. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, catch the yarn, pull it out and stop. Yarn over into the third stitch, pull it out and stop, and one more, yarn over, go into the very last stitch, catch your yarn, pull it out and stop. Now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loops on your hook. You're gonna yarn over and pull through all of those loops to the very last one, like this. Now you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and cut your yarn. Leave yourself a little tail, cut off and pull the top. Now we're going to hide all the tails, and you will see how the strawberry looks. Take a needle. We'll start with the bottom one. Do it from the inside. Like this. Okay, so the very bottom one, I'm just gonna pull it a little tight and then go into the same, into the very bottom of the strawberry one way and then back the other way. Now the bottom is done. Cut that off. Now the very middle, you want to pull over that little red thread that we have crocheted over. Grab your green in the middle and go in between the stitches like this, in the very middle of it, and then come back in. Just make sure that you cannot see that on the other side of the strawberry, like this. I'm gonna cut off both because I have crocheted over the red tail. And now the strawberry itself, okay, like this. And the top of the strawberry goes into the middle stitch at the bottom. The lower you can get it, the more puffier it's going to be. So see, 1, 2, 3, right into the bottom of that middle stitch, on into the inside of the hat, and I'm just gonna pull it tight like this. You can see, and in the inside of the hat, now we need to make a little knot for it to stay in place. So I'm gonna catch a little bit of the actual hat like this, and I try to leave the little loop while I pull out the tail. Okay, so here's a little loop. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the loop with a needle and pull tight. That makes a little knot, very small, but the strawberry is going nowhere after this. And then I'm just gonna hide the tail a little in between the stitches above, like this, and cut the tail. And here is a strawberry, like this. I'll show you one more. Make a slip knot. I'm just gonna go a little quicker now. Next, I'm gonna take this out in the middle stitch, chain 2, and another 4 double crochets. And 4, I'm gonna chain 1 and cut my yarn, leave a little longer tail, grab my green, slip knot, connect into the chain 2. Make sure you do not connect into the stitch right here, okay? Into the top of the chain 2, chain 2, and I'm gonna crochet over the red tail, yarn over, go into the next stitch that is right next to the chains, catch your yarn, pull it out and stop, yarn over into the next stitch, catch yarn, pull it out and stop, yarn over into the next stitch, catch your yarn, pull it out and stop, and one more into the very last stitch. Then pull through all 9 loops and chain 2, 1 and 2, leave a little tail, and then quickly hide the tails. Okay, just gonna in one way, and another way, cut, pull on the middle red that you have crocheted over just to tighten up the other side. Then I'll take the green, in the middle in between the stitches, one way, and then I'm coming back. That is secure, cut off, the top of the strawberry. I'm just gonna give it a little push from the inside into the bottom of the middle stitch from the row above. I'm gonna pull, give it a good pull. Sometimes you can get one of the chains out, that's even better, like this, much more secure. Now I'm just gonna catch a little bit of the hat, and I'm gonna try to go right into that green as well. Remember, leave a little loop, don't pull all the way. Catch that loop into the loop with a needle and pull tight. You have a knot, and hide that tail on the inside, and that is done. So keep going. with those strawberries. So see, they're so cute, little strawberries. Okay, so keep going with the strawberries. All are done exactly the same. I personally do all the red first, then the green, and then I do all the tail hiding afterwards, and then I'm gonna add the little bow. So I will see you when this hat is finished. We'll just have a quick look of what it looks like, and then I will show you how to finish, to round up the top on the round up hat. Okay, so see you in a few seconds. And so I have finished fully the hat. Super cute, super simple. If this is what you were making, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, if you are going to round up the top of the hat like this, okay, fairly simple. We have 3 rows left at this point, okay, about 3 centimeters missing from the full length. I'm making this a size 0 to 3 months. I just added a few colors in there. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to start making 2 double crochets in each space in between the shells, okay? So first of all, depending on what row you have finished on, I have finished on repeat row number 1, okay? So you can see I had 2 double crochets and a double, 2 chains and the 2 double crochet after that. So that was the start in the row before. So this row starts with chaining 2. Now I want to get to the next space right here. If you are starting the row with now with 2 chains and a double crochet, you are in the right spot. Just chain 2 and make a double crochet next to it. But if you're just starting with the 2 chains like me, you need to get to that next space. Okay, so I'm just going to turn and slip stitch until I get to that space like this. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2 and 1 double crochet. Okay, that will count as 2 double crochets in this space, and then 2 double crochets in every space all the way around, just like that. No chaining, nothing, just 2 double crochets until you finish the row. Okay, so I do not have any more spaces, so I'm just going to slip stitch into the chain 2. Okay, so we just want to leave a chain 2 and a double crochet to finish. We slip stitch into the chain 2. Now I'm going to change the hook size for the smaller, so 3.5 millimeters for me. And I'm going to chain 2 and turn. And I will just make a double crochet into that space right next to chain 2. Again, we're going to go around one more time, just making 2 double crochets with a smaller hook in each space between the 2 double crochets from previous row. Just 2 double crochets all the way around. Like this, and we finish the row with a slip stitch into the chain 2. Okay, and now the final row of decreasing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn, slip stitch right into the middle in between the 2 and 2 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, and now we're gonna start crocheting 2 double crochets together. Okay, so one goes here, the other one goes here, and we just crochet them together. So yarn over, go into the first space, catch your yarn, pull it out. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 and stop. Yarn over, go into the next space, catch your yarn, pull it out. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the rest of the loops that you have. Now the same in the next 2 spaces, yarn over into the first space, catch your yarn, pull it out. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next space, catch your yarn, pull it out, pull through 2 loops, and pull through the 3 loops that you have left. And just like that, next 2 spaces, pull through 2 and stop, yarn over into the next space, catch your yarn, pull it out, pull through 2 and pull through the rest of the loops. Just like that, all the way around. Make sure you don't use the same spaces. Okay, it's getting tighter here. Like this. Okay, I have 1 space I think left. Let me see. No, I actually have 2 spaces left right here and here, so 1 more decrease. If you only have 1 space left, just make a double crochet over there. Okay, like this. And then I have my chain 2. It's getting very tight, hard to show you. Okay. So like I said, if you have 1 more space left before the chain 2, just do a double crochet there, and then you go under the chain 2 where we have started the row, and you slip stitch. I'm gonna chain 1, leave a little tail. We're gonna sew up the rest of it like this, and we pull that out. Now we want to bring the tail into the inside of the hat, and we will just sew up that little circle that is left like this. Okay, whichever way is easier for you. I just like to go into the stitches, into one and come out the other, one, come out the other, just like that. And I'm just gonna pull it tight at the top like this and make a little knot. So I'm catching the hat itself and coming out somewhere behind the tail. Keep that loop. Gonna go in from the back and pull tight. There we go. If you have any bigger spaces, you can just catch them while you're there. I think that's good. And I'll just hide the tail a little bit around like this. All good. I'm just gonna cut it off. If you have any tails left, you need to hide them now. But other than that, the hat is finished. There we go. So this is a 0 to 3 months. You can always put a pom-pom or something else. You could do strawberries if you want on the rounded up hat. Completely up to you. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Everything worked out for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.